Jesus more.
When we are doing theology, there used to be a song that was sung by Zambian students. I don't know if it came from Zambia, but it was sung by Zambian students, and it said, "Love is never love until you give it away. Love is never love until you give it away." And some of the verses in that song would say that God showed us His love by giving Jesus, His Son, to us. So He gave something of Himself to us. And so this is what we hear today in the first reading about a hymn of love, a great hymn of love. There's one of the hymns of love, you find that in St. Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 13. But another one would be in 1 John chapter 4, from verse 7. It says that we cannot say that if we do not love our brothers, we cannot say that we know God at all, because God is love. And He gave us His Son as an expression of that love, giving something of Himself in order to save us. And in the Gospel today, we find something of a demonstration of what love is. It's a very popular story that we find in all the Gospels. That means it's something that happens in reality. Jesus multiplying the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish. We know that story very well. And I could talk about the love of what God did, the miracle of the multiplication of the loaves. But I just want us to base on the fact that, imagine Jesus asked the disciples, how much loaf, what do you have? And imagine that at that moment, there was nobody to be able to own up, because that must have been somebody's lunch. In other Gospels, in one of the Synoptic Gospels, we find that these loaves of bread and 2 fish came from a little boy. But this is not mentioned in the Gospel of Mark. Either in Luke or in Matthew, we hear that it came from a little boy. It must have been his lunch that he prepared in order to keep him safe, especially as he followed Jesus. But at that moment when Jesus asked for it, He sacrificed it. And that is really love, emptying Himself. He said, "This is what I have, but I am prepared to offer it," even though it's not going to make any meaning. But in the Gospel today, we find that it is the disciples who said to Jesus, "This is all we have. This is all we have to depend on. It is nothing compared to all these people, but this is only the thing that we can offer." And Jesus said, "Bring it. Bring it." And when they brought it, He blessed it, He multiplied it, He fed 5,000, and there were 5 baskets left over. It tells us what love can do. Or in this case, you can also talk of talents. What God has given you, if you can offer it back to God, then it's going to multiply it and feed abundance of people, and even give you something greater than what you offered. It tells us how much God can bless us when we begin to love, when we begin to share, when we begin to give things that is of ours only, when we do not just keep things to ourselves. So if Jesus asked, "What have you?" and this little boy or the disciple said, "Nothing, no, because I want to keep something for myself. This is my lunch and mine alone. I came with this lunch for myself." And at times, this is our attitude. At times, when we have things around us, when we have to offer, when we have to help, we say, "No, this is really not my business. This is mine and mine alone. I don't want to share this I have, because if I share it, I'm not going to have again." But again, this is a mistake, because it is when we share, then we receive blessings. It's when we give, then we receive. In Luke's Gospel, chapter 6, from verse 36, it says, "When you give, it will be given to you, put full and shaken, and it will be poured upon our laps," saying that it will be given to us in abundance. But when we keep it to ourselves, then we remain with that. It's not going to increase. There's an African proverb that says that when you close your hands, it will not come out, but it's not going to also enter. But if you open it, it is going to come out, but there will be room created for more to come in. And this is what happens when we are generous, when we love, when we give away of ourselves, then we expect that God is going to give us abundantly. We are never going to run dry. It is only lack of faith that makes us to feel that God, that once we give away, then we have lost. It's never going to happen. It's never going to come back again. I've experienced a lot about returning back, giving back, receiving after you've given. I've really experienced a lot about that. And it makes me to try to, as much as possible, to give more. Because when I give, I always receive. When we love, we always receive in return. When we love, it never goes, it never has a dead end. It always comes with something. And this is an encouragement for us today. This boy only gave 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, but in the end, there was abundance of 12 baskets. Not 12 fish or 12 loaves of bread, but 12 baskets full. After people had eaten, after he had even eaten, he still received 12 baskets full that he could take from. My dear brothers and sisters, God came into this world, which we celebrate at Christmas, the incarnation, God becoming man. It was a pure act of love. God gave himself to us. He lost his divinity. He gave up his divinity in order to become one like us and to redeem us and to save us from sin. That was the greatest of his love for us. And not only that, he sacrificed his life and he died on the cross that you and I might live. What greater love is greater than that one? And this is what it encourages us to do today, that the little that we have, let us share with each other. Let us love each other, for God is love. It is in loving, it is in sharing that we are blessed, that we receive. We pray that God will grant us hearts that are generous, hearts that are loving, hearts that are not just looking inward, but hearts that are looking outward towards humanity. And in doing that, God will bless us abundantly, because we will never lack when we give. God is never out. God cannot be outdone in generosity, because he's always reaching out to us. He's always providing for us. And let us ask God for the grace to be able to be open-handed and be able to be open to receive his grace by giving, because it is when we give, then we receive.
Kiss us, mother, kiss your children. Bring God's blessings from above. With your mantle blue enfold us in your gentle holy love. See the darkness dissipating, hear the trumpet echoing, Satan's rage